No, not that tree. Dude, damn it. I cut it until I see it moving and then I run. It's full again. So yeah, and there. These are lamp posts, you know, what do you call that? This could be perfect for the. I cut them up shorter, stacked them. Right in there. And we're, look at this here. Now this here, this black carbon steel. But I do have one patch over there and another patch over there because this thing, but I'm having electrical issues. Hey, good morning guys, how you doing? How you doing? But I'm already at it here on the Thai farm with my retired life. It's 7:30 probably. My wife asked me if I could trim the trees back here by the water tanks because that's what I was doing probably 2 months ago now when I was when I cut the branches off of this mango. But I didn't cut it up there because, you know, one, it was like too high and I was a little worried about the height factor. And then so now, I mean, I made a number of videos where I walk, probably not thousand, but anyway, hundreds of videos where I'll walk through this section and I come out and then boom, this is a big old tree, but I just chopped it all down. Actually, there's two trees. This one, this is that that tree that you have to climb up when you're going to heaven. You got to climb up that tree naked for your sins. It's full of thorns. Although this one, the thorns were knocked off early on, so you don't run into it. But anyway, yeah, so I chopped off a big old pile over there. I got this one tied off. I think I can, it's got a lot of tension there, so I'm gonna cut it on this side. Hopefully it'll just swing over before it breaks and I won't lose my roof over here. But tired already. And oh my gosh. But the one thing, my wife hasn't been back here yet, but I do remember her saying, you know, I mean, she said those trees, you know, mangoes back there by the water tank. I'm like, all right, sure, they're dying, whatever. So it looked pretty nasty, so I'll start cut it up or whatever. But then when I was throwing the branches away, I realized that they have these pieces of fruit And I don't think that's mango, man. So I hope she was inclusive of this one tree, because she might come back here and go, what? No, not that tree. Damn it. I cut one branch. It was big old tall. That thorny one was tall. That branch is hanging in the other trees right now all the way up to the bamboo. I can't pull that out of there yet. I will. I was gonna just simply cut this tree because it looked kind of nasty too, but that's another one of them little fruit trees, so I'm not gonna cut that. And yeah, and it looks all green up there anyway. So anyway, another day here on the Tide Farm. What else am I doing? It's supposed to be 60% chance of rain today or something like that. It rained last night. My wife said she let some water in over on the, because when it rains the main canal in the front flood, right? So she lets water in. Now that canal we just, the canal pond that we just emptied, caught all those fish and stuff, that she said it's chock full of water now. I haven't looked at it, but, and also on the canal that she built with those wall, you know, roofing material, big old section of that caved in because she wasn't finished with it. But those panels, you know, you need to put them at least 25% of the panel into the ground to prevent any kind of collapse when it rains in the mud and stuff. Even then it might not even hold, because if it's tall, you know. Anyway, I haven't looked at that either, but she told me about that. So the task now is, let's see if I can cut this tree and not have it crash my roof. Watch, it falls and then it pulls that one out. That's like an old teak tree or something. I tried pulling that out before. No, I think I had my truck or something when it was, you know, when everything wasn't built here. That thing didn't want to move, man. That's like embedded. So I think if it pulls that out of the ground, then super heavy, but I don't know. Anyway, let's see what I can do without getting hurt. Usually I try and cut it I cut it until I see it moving, and then I run. Cut and run. So, because I don't want to get hurt. I think I'm better off if I cut it actually, you know, higher, like closer to the rope instead of like down there. I could cut it right in the apex here, but then I don't know. I think maybe if I cut it higher first, it's a lot better. It'll swing more. I guess my theories will have to be put into practice. All right, back at you. It's like 80% cut right there. And I saw it move just a little bit. So I'm wondering, maybe the wind, maybe if I try and pull on the rope. Buddy. Well, it actually fell on the tile right on the roof, but the tile must be pretty strong because it just bounced off of it. As it bounced and then it kind of rolled. I don't think it punched a hole or anything. I didn't hear it. Nope, no cracks. Good job, bro. Now that opened that up, and of course now that this is opened up, I'm gonna wind up cutting it all down. And as I talked about in earlier videos, making this, you know, dry pouring the cement or whatever. You know, it gives me an idea that, well, actually that tree stump's pretty big, man. I'm not gonna cut it off, but I don't think I'm digging that out, not unless I get a tractor come around here and rip it out with the tractor or something and flatten all this, make it all nice. But now I got the lovely task of chopping this into little bits. So yeah, let's do that and I'll get back at you. Yeah, well, my battery ran out, so batteries. So no more chainsaw. I did cut a bit of it, but yeah, I hadn't charged them for a while. So, but hey, remember I have birds in here. Those two birds, shortly after that video, because they didn't have their wings yet or nothing, but I think their eyes were open. Shortly after that video, both them birds are gone, man. So they definitely got eaten by something. And I just dumped out water because I come walking by here and I saw a reflection. I was like, what, my trash can? And that trash can was like up to here in water, and I thought, what in the hell? And then I look up and yeah, so I guess I gotta clean the gutter, because that little bit of rain from last night, it was probably a downpour, because, you know, a lot of water, and then it filled up my trash can. It's the first time actually that you know, somehow the water must have, when it was, you know, that must have been the very low point. I have that gutter situated so that it's high in the middle, so that way about half the water goes off onto this side of to this pond, and the other half goes to the other pond, which it comes off of there pretty torrentially. And it does happen. Here, man, remember we just emptied this pond canal here just a couple days ago. It's full again. Crazy. But of course, again, my wife let the water in from the street too, so, but that's rainwater as well. So you can see it, you know, if you need to, you can get water. We gotta drain that one, man. I gotta drain that one. But if we're gonna drain it, I need to drain that now, because I was thinking, because I mean we're not, it's just now starting the rainy season part, you know, just the first couple rains we've had. So if I drain it and then it rains, what's the point? I can't work in the mud. The idea would be that I drain it and I have a week or so of it kind of drying up a little bit, so I can get down in there and work on the whole sala and maybe the bridge more and stuff. Although that said, I did just order I ordered the battery or the cordless drill, but I had to make sure I found one that had like the NM, what is that, announcing measure, the torque. Most of those little drills you buy on Lazada, they're probably like 20 NM, maybe 25, which is fair enough for, you know, screwing household stuff in, things like that. But, you know, one tough job about all the hard redwoods and all that with the knockdown house here is that it just snaps off screws and stuff, and you really need to drill a hole before you put a screw in, and you need to have a pretty good drill. Those little drills, you'll break off the bits and burn out your drill before you get any reasonable amount of work done with that kind of wood. And that's experience talking. So, but yeah, so I got one. It's got like a 200 Nm or whatever. So hopefully it'll have enough torque. It says it's, you know, steel, concrete. The guy showed him he had a piece of concrete and a piece of steel and a piece of brick and a piece of wood, and he drilled through all like, you know, I'm sure it was more like time lapsed or whatever, because it's not going to drill through that stuff like butter. But I'm hoping at least it'll be strong enough to get me through the concrete and steel for the sala over there, and maybe a few other jobs on the house over here before it's kaput. I don't mind, you know, it was a 2,000 baht drill, but it was on sale, say 4% off, whatever. So it was like 400 or 500 baht, and you know, I don't mind spending 20-30 bucks as a part of a cost to finish a job. You know, if the drill is no good after that, I consider that a, you know, a win-win. I got the drill that I needed and I got the job done. That's probably why there's a shit ton of those drills at the Sunday market. But anyway, yeah, I took delivery yesterday, day before yesterday. I took delivery of 2 more big solar lights for the front gate, because you remember on the front gate project I tore out the electrical for the lights when I put the new driveway in, and I was going to convert that to solar. So I bought 2 big old solar lights. I was going to get all fancy ones, but those weren't bright, and one of the challenges I have when I come home at night is, you know, is seeing my gate entrance. The new street lights go all the way up to about, you know, 150 meters or 100 meters before my gate, and there's some trees and stuff, so actually it gets blocked out, and my little lights, and so now I got 2 big, you know, floodlight kind to maybe lighten it up. But when I got them, I opened up the box, and this same thing happened to a smaller one I had a long time, like last year or whatever. But so they have a rechargeable, right? These are solar lights, but there's a rechargeable battery in there, and that's the whole solar part of it. And it's one of those blue packs that are like 3 batteries wrapped into one thing. And these solar lights are sealed. There is no screws to take out the back and all that stuff. And then the thin, it's probably like a paper aluminum or whatever that's on the inside, that's for the reflective part. You know, it's there, right? It has an angle for the walls under the glass. Well, from banging around and heat or travel, whatever, the glue that holds the batteries to wherever they're held on the inside breaks down. The battery falls away, and it's heavy, and as it moves around, it punches through the bottom of where that paper aluminum meets the glass, and then all of a sudden you're looking through the glass and you actually see the battery pack in the middle of the whole solar light. And it's like, what? And I mean, I looked at it close. I think the way you can maybe try to fix it is there's a tiny rubber seal around the glass. So maybe if you can get in there, it's a really, really small screwdriver and you know, tweezers or something, start pulling that rubber out, then you can lift the glass out and then, you know, fix the issue. But anyway, and both of them were like that. So I just said, shit, man. So I took a picture, took like 3 or 4 pictures, and then I had gone back upstairs because you have a 3-day return on those kind of things. And so I immediately just posted the pictures back, you know, on the return, said, yeah, it's defective. I didn't have a problem because I buy a lot of those lights, and these guys are always pretty good. Anyway, they refunded me like within a few hours of me just sending them that picture. So I was like, oh, that's cool. But at the same time, I know they're not picking them up. It's like 138 baht or something for the shipping, because they're big old, like 2 big old lights, and they don't want to suck that up, and they're not going to be able to do anything with it, because they're not in the repair business. So they're probably going to give those 2 lights to me. I have the one that happened last year or whatever. Yeah, I had that one for a long time. Nobody picked it up. I got refunded, nobody picked it up, so I think I threw it away. Because I might have cracked it after that or something, trying to get it out. But anyway, but now that I was thinking about that with the rubber and the seal and all that stuff, I don't know how waterproof it would be if I remove that rubber seal. But I might be able to fix it and have 2 free shoulder lights. I did order 2 more, different company, same light, 30,000 watts or whatever, big bright ones. But yeah, man, when I saw them, I was like, what? I've seen this before. So it's overcast or cloudy today. Not really overcast, but just cloudy, cirrus clouds. And so it should be a little bit cooler. My batteries are charging. You want to get a good charge on those for cutting trees. So I probably won't cut trees again till tomorrow. But what I am going to try and do is I'm going to try and get up there today and put the other cross pieces of steel going, vertical. Horizontal ones are kind of pretty much all there, so just gotta, and I do have 6 of them already over there, so I should be able to go 1, 2, 3 on this side, 1, 2, 3 on that side. But I got to remember to measure because of the size of the panels, that I want to put on there. I don't want them overlapping in the middle, like between 2 bars, right? You want them to overlap on the bar, so you can drill through both of them, hold that thing down, seal a meal. Yeah, because I want to get the roof material on that side. I haven't figured out the secure part on my rolling roof. I'm close, but I want to get the roof on the other side so that I can work underneath there too without the rain getting everything wet. What are you doing today? All right, man. Let me get to work. It's a little after 9 now, maybe 10 after 9, and we'll see what else I can do. All right, back at you. Hey, morning guys, again, because that didn't work out yesterday. It started to rain, it started to get dark and rumbling and stuff, and so I couldn't finish that, man. I couldn't get started on that. But this is what I was talking about here with my solar lights. So yeah, and there. But I don't know if you can see this in here somewhere. See that? Somebody might have already tried that, but I went on YouTube and the guy used the heat gun. So he actually drilled 2 holes through the plastic so it touched the glass, like and and then used the heat gun, just went around it like 30 times or whatever, and then just went back to the holes and just pushed like with a screwdriver, just pushed, and the glass came out. And then, you know, obviously you can fix it after that. Putting the glass back in, I guess I could just go with silicone and make it waterproof, unless, I don't know how, you know, it's a hot light, right? Even though it's LED, still gonna push out heat, and so, you know, gotta be worried about that. But hey, man, looks like I got 2 new lights for free. And by the way, we just got back from the Sunday market, and I actually found my flathead bar that goes right in here to be able to hand crank my tire down. I just gotta put that behind the seat. Guy wanted he wanted 120 baht. He said it cost him 100 baht. He's only making 20 baht. Did I believe him? Probably not. Do I care? Definitely not. You know, that's whatever, $4, $3. But I did take delivery yesterday of my other 2 new solar lights. That's how it should look. I have them getting solarized right now, and I'm gonna put those up at the front gate. But I went up there with the bracket to kind of see where I could do it and this and that, and then I'm in a little bit of a quandary on there. By the way, another package arrived this morning. It's my wife. I don't know what that is. Pots, there's kind of pots, she said, cooking pots or something. But because if I put those solar lights, you know, so they shine the whole gate and all that stuff, when I leave here, those big old floodlights will hit me right in the face. Not good. But if I shoot them away, then when I come in here, they'll be hitting me in the face. Because I wanted to try and mount it, you know, on the posts, but I don't know, man. I think what I'm gonna have to do is actually put new like lamp posts on both sides and make them high enough to where it just shines down, you know, like my street light solar. In hindsight, I should have just bought one of those. But yeah, because I don't want to be blinded by it, right? Leaving or coming or going, I don't want to be blinded by it. I bought a couple other, actually I did take delivery of new wiper blades. It is rainy season, so I'm putting new wiper blades. Came with that green color on it, which is really weird because I'm wearing green and my roof is green. We're doing a lot of green. As a matter of fact, on the way back from the Sunday market, we stopped at the place where they have all the fresh seafood, you know, mostly shrimp, but you know, squid, crabs, clams, all that stuff. And they open at 9, so we were right there a little bit before it opened. But we got in, and while we were waiting, it was like 6 or 7 minutes before they opened, so we're sitting on the bench, and they had one of those little machines with the claw with the stuffed animals. So my wife was like, you know, of course. So she goes and plays the claw machine, and she wins a stuffed animal, same color. It's like a dragon with the same lime green color. I was like, what's going on here? But it seems to be a kind of a thematic color around here. Anyway, I did pick up one of these older, it's probably not that old, but these are lamp posts, you know, what do you call that? This could be perfect for the front gate if it was really bright. And so there was a guy who had 4 of them, and he was selling them for 200 baht each. And I didn't want to pay that. And I was walking around, and another guy had one, and he goes, "You're gonna have 100 baht." and I actually bought other stuff from him. So I was like, all right, cool. So I just bought that one. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I bought it. But anyway, yeah. So now that I have that, I already got this and that, I do have to figure out a solution for the gate lights. Question is whether I should figure that out now or I should wait until after I do this. I think, you know what, I think I can wait, because that's not a, I could actually build that here. I could take my post hole digger out and bring it up there in the truck and then just punch a hole in the ground, stick the whole assembly in there and be done with it, and I wouldn't have to worry too much about the heat or even the rain at that point. But the roof, it's got a nice shaded area right now for putting that metal up there. I should probably take advantage of that. What do you think? I coughed a lot this morning. God. But it's not a, you know, I don't know what it is. It wasn't a dry cough. There's no phlegm or nothing. It's just, I just coughed and, you know, and hurt myself. But anyway, it's probably just because I'm getting old. This tissue starts to break down. Muscles in your throat and your chest. And I don't know. But I do know that I gotta finish the project. I just haven't been motivated lately. I mean, motivation is probably not the word, but I just haven't been myself lately. I dreamt last night somebody was gonna arrest me for something I said. Weird. It was weird too, because I was at the beach, and the beach, you know, like we had this kind of beach house resort place, and then next to us was another nice big old resort place, and somebody famous came there. I forget who it was, you know, but somebody famous that came there that I also liked, and they were going to be partying there for that weekend, and we were partying at our place for the weekend, and you know, and basically everybody's partying almost like maybe Songkran or something like that, and sound like somebody's coming. I should be taking more Lazada deliveries. I have half a dozen of them coming probably. But anyway, I can't remember, you know, obviously because you forget your dreams as you wake up. You know, I was trying to remember it in my twilight of sleep, but I just remember going, "Are you fucking kidding me? They're coming here?" Because I said, "Well, what did I say?" You know, that kind of thing. What? Almost like it was less majesty or something. I didn't know if I was in the dream, if I was in Thailand or not, but I know that I was on vacation somewhere. I was out enjoying my life and having a good time, and somebody come to screw that up for me. And you know, maybe that's part of the bigger picture. You think, especially in terms of Social Security and stuff like that. Is somebody coming to go? Somebody gonna screw that up for me, man? But yeah, trippy. I tried to remember who it was, like who the famous person was, or whether they're famous, you know, in that country, or were they an American, or what were they? Was that Hugo Chavez or something? I don't know. But I try to have dreams. I used to have them all the time, and I could induce them. There are things I can do to induce my dreams, but I have to really be in the right mindset if I'm going to induce a dream state, because if I'm not, then yeah, you can have bad dreams too. This one was, you know, I wouldn't technically classify it as a bad dream, because it was kind of a dream that just pissed me off. You know, bad dreams are those horrific ones where you're dying, or you know, see monsters or whatever, you know, that kind of stuff. But the water's going down here again in this pond. See, I already raised it from the water that came over there, but it's going down again. We need to do something about that. Need to add more water in here. I gotta tell my wife. We should just drain that other pond, man. The big one, the one I just showed earlier in this video, that water, well, that was yesterday. Now it's even ting, more full. And I plugged up the hole on that other dam I made, but I don't have the right kind of plug, so what I do is I took it like a Tupperware cup with a lid and wrapped that with like tire rubber, and then pinched it in there, so it's all right. Water ain't gonna come through there. She wants to keep that dry while all this works. Speaking of which, that's right, I gotta take those leaves. Oh no, that's right. Dang, man, I'm sitting here forgetting everything. So I gotta finish that. My battery should be charged. I gotta finish cutting that tree branch up there. But my wife, remember I told you I wasn't sure about that tree. She didn't say nothing, but she did kind of subliminally or whatever say it, because what she said was, she goes, "Oh yeah, don't cut any more of that tree. It's all right, like where it is. Like don't cut the stump off or whatever." But she said, "Don't cut any more of that tree, that sadao tree." So she throws out there that it was the sadao. Now we have like 15 sadao trees, and along with her, the family and friends come over here during the blooming of the sadao every year or a couple times a year or whatever, and they produce a shit ton of leaves that are edible and that people just absolutely enjoy. And so they're climbing all these trees and breaking off all these branches, and I made videos before about how the branches look like a hurricane hit it or something after people come, because they're snapping off all the edges and stuff. So by cutting that one down, it was like, you know, you cut the sadao tree, what is wrong with you? But I haven't asked her yet. But when she said, "Yeah, the sadao, yeah, just leave that there," and then in my mind I was like, "Oh yeah, shit, I should have known." I know what the sadao tree is. I just wasn't thinking, wasn't paying attention. I was just like, cut tree by the water tank. Okay, well this one, okay, yeah. And then after I had cut the big old part of it, that's when I was like, wait a minute, this ain't a mango tree. But, and as it is, it will start to grow. The way those trees work, especially because it's the same when everybody breaks branches off and stuff, it immediately starts to, you know, wherever I cut it off, it'll start sprouting 2 or 3 other branches again. And those young branches that produce the young leaves is actually the best part of eating. So might be a blessing in disguise. But I do have to cut the rest of the one that was falling down. And as a matter of fact, I can cut the mango tree that I was starting. As I mentioned before, I stopped because it was, you know, I didn't want it to cut and fall on the roof and break the roof and stuff. But after seeing yesterday's tree fall on the roof and bounce, basically the roof being strong enough, I'm a little more confident now that I can, you know, maybe I can just cut that tree branch and let it bounce off the roof. Of course, this time it'll probably go right through the roof. That's right, though. I do have more of these roof tiles laying around, so if I did punch a hole in it, I could patch a hole in it, right? So what do I do first? I'm gonna use a chainsaw, cut the rest of that branch. My wife said she doesn't want to burn the wood, so she wants to have somebody come get it. But I was like, whoa, wait a minute, man. I mean, I can burn it, right? I can burn it for charcoal or something. But anyway, so yeah, do some chainsawing, and then do the metal on my roof. What do you say? All right, man, let's get it done. Craig, I'll get back at you. Well, I cut that branch that was over there, but then I had to cut it all up. And my wife complained the logs were too big, so I cut them up shorter, stacked them. That's me, the logger. And that should be enough. That should burn quick. But so it's this tree, the one I was starting on, that she wanted to cut, but you know, it still has a shitload of mangoes on there. But we do have, yeah, a ton of mangoes. We have, I don't know how many trees, mango trees. We have, I know we got like 7 different kind of mangoes, but we probably have, I don't know, a dozen different mango trees, so this one won't matter. Although I've already cut this one. Y'all remember I cut this? Look, it's already growing. These are 3 individual branches already. Now more there, more there, more there. I cut those off, even that one, and it's already got branches, and it's just a couple months, whatever. So anyway, I'm gonna cut that thing right there, let that fall over that way. It should be all right. And then I really have to think about this. I really don't want it to fall right on top of this, man. Break all that stuff. There's another log pile. Although my wife put that one together so she could burn from my other log pile. Whereas I like to call them snake housing. Affordable snake housing. All right, man, where can I put my camera? I just remembered something, which was how these trees, when you cut it and it breaks free, it might like to just swing, like kind of almost bounce up and then slide this way, in which case it would just go right through my chest. So I am gonna tie that thing, put a rope around there. I'll get back at you. All right, I think I got it done. Just got it tied off up there. Hope it doesn't hit me, man. Whew, my heart's beating a little fast. That was a beast, man. Now I'm supposed to do that to these. That was a big old cut, man. Actually, I don't know if I gotta cut this up. Cutting it up is a nightmare. This thing's pretty, as you see, that's a pretty good piece of tree. That's a good, yeah, that's probably 10 inches. 6, 7, 8, 10. Hard in there. Brutal. Look at that. That's adrenaline, man. Adrenaline on the old heart. And it landed on shit. It landed on my solid seat I made out of bamboo, but the frame is solid metal. Oh, look at that! It creased the frame right in there. Real heavy. So if they can do that to metal, then yeah, these pieces up here, I don't know, man. Anyway, I do know that I'll probably run out of battery, because I already cut like, 50 cuts over here. I'll probably run out of battery trying to get all the branches off this thing. We'll see. Let me get to it, and then maybe it'll probably be a blessing that the battery runs out, so I don't go straight up here and get overconfident, wind up losing an arm or something, or trying to grab the saw when it falls, when it's still moving, and all my fingers get chopped off. All right, man, I'll get back at you. Well, yeah, the battery ran out on that one. Didn't even hardly get anything done, but what I did see was, that's the Sadao tree. That thing snapped off up there, I think. And maybe another one. I'll probably see 2 or 3. This is a piece right here, and then another one in there maybe. So when that thing came down, oh yeah, there it is, a big old piece of Sadao right there. When it came down, it just went snapped off any of the trees that are sticking out. That's why this tree, these Sadao trees, that's why they're all crooked, is because the branches have been broken off during, collection. A lot of times they just been coming over and they would just chop the whole branch off, and so it grows 2 or 3 different ways after that, and again and again and again. Years of doing that while we weren't here. This farm is whatever, 20 years old or even more. But yeah, so all these are all Sadao. So a few branches won't matter. I'm gonna come over here and see, this is what I gotta do. I gotta put these long ones, but then I remember this piece is the cutoff from one of those pieces, and I have 6 of those left. And it's kind of like, what should I do? Should I cut one of these up so I can weld it to the end of, ideally this needs to be about a hand's length, about 6 inches longer to be on the top beam to the bottom beam. And I need 6 of them. Right now I have 1 up there, I got 5 here. These are 6 pieces. So if I cut one of them up, I'll only have 5 and have to buy another one. Then I thought, you know what, maybe I should just buy another one, so I can just weld another long one here, so it'll catch that one. Then I don't have to cut any of this. I can use the 6 and just, I'll just weld 2 longer pieces there, and it might even give it more strength, especially for the cap. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go get a couple more pieces of that. I think I need some, maybe I use some for those lights on the front, posting up for the gate. We got the load tag, got the tractor over here tilling the field on the right side this morning. It tilled 2 rye for 500 baht. It's tilling all the ground's a little soft now because of the rains, so it's easier to till in the old rice stalks, get everything nice and soft. So what'd you get there? got.
Three things. I don't know. Boy said she got it. I said don't have.
Oh,
Yeah,
you thought it was a big one? What's this here?
This is
Stainless steel.
Yeah.
Tupperware. Kind of a copper bottom. That's all right. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Probably stuck in the mud. He's way up there. He's tilling some of it. And of course the birds, you know, these big old birds, if they follow right after, they love that. The black ones too probably go for the worms and stuff, but the big white ones, you know, they want to go for some other stuff, living, hopefully crabs. And there's all kinds of stuff in there. If I followed behind the tractor myself in my boots, I'd probably see all kinds of wildlife. It'd be all in there. Rats, crabs, snakes, snails. All kinds of crawling stuff. As I should do, I should have. I didn't know he was coming. I'm soaking wet. I'm sweating today. It's a little bit humid, I think. I should have rigged. I could have set up. Maybe next time I'll get a rig where I can set up the camera, like right, you know, behind the tiller to watch all the birds, see what they grab and all that. That'd be cool. The tiller cam. All right, well, let me go buy some metal. I'll get back at you. How much was that? And
stove.
what's that? Oh, the stove, gas stove. 2-burner.
Huh? Yeah, 2-burner.
So a 2-burner gas stove and those things. They give you that free?
Yeah.
Oh. We bought a 2-burner gas stove for 1,300 baht. Nice one, I imagine. And then they give you a bunch of steel pots for free. One set with steel lids for cooking, the other set for Tupperware lids for storage. And a frying pan. Let's get to the store, man. Let's get to the store, Craig. All right, back at you. Well, all right, I got the metal settled, and yeah, so you gotta do some measuring. All right, so I got 3 extra pieces that are the whatever that is, 1.5 square or 1 inch square, and then I got 4 pieces of the tubed 2 inch, because actually I just brought it over here. I'm gonna use it over there, but I brought it over here because I got to bring my saw out here to cut the other one. I figured, you know what, might as well just cut it all at the same time, because I've decided that on my bridgeway over there for the cross bars, I'm gonna use this steel, because steel is stronger than wood, but you know. But so I'm gonna cut pieces, and I'm just gonna, I don't think 4 pieces here is enough to make it solid, you know, metal going all the way across there. Of course, those are going to be supporting, so I still need to put whatever I'm going to put on top of that, which goes back to this kind of wood and all those, that big old stack over there. So I was thinking I could, if I had all the metal like this, right, that maybe I could lay the wood like this, like staggered, like a, you know, like a hatch pattern going forward, you know, because it'll all be supported, and I could just put it down like I'm putting down what's that, you know, like wood flooring basically. They're not all the exact same thickness, so that's a little bit of a problem. But anyway, I do know that I got the I got this. I'm gonna make that metal over there. Eventually the whole thing's gonna be metal. But so now I got to do my measurements up here so I can get the correct measurements, because I'm sensing a little bit of rain influence starting to come. I think my wife told me, we just actually ate some lunch over here at home, but that she said it said 40% chance. So let me get going. Let's see what I got. Back at you. And we're done with that one. Whew, a little bit of a head rush right there. Yeah. So, boom. Yeah. Those are 1 meter. They're actually just fractionally maybe over 1 meter. But that's a 1 meter spread between two ends on the bridge. So it should overhang just enough on both sides. And one thing I noticed, although you may have noticed, I'm wearing this, which I haven't worn since 3 years or whatever. I've cut all this stuff, cut every piece of metal, every like that. Usually have a fan going maybe, or this or that, but look at this here. Now this here, this black carbon steel, whatever, that's the remnants of what happens when you cut. And for the most part, that stuff is airborne. And, you know, safe to say that for the last couple of years on my projects, I probably breathed all that in, man. I know I've cleaned it out of my nose and everything before. And the soot from mill welding. I think in hindsight I should have protected my lungs, man. I probably got like black lung disease or some shit. That's probably what's making me cough. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I had fun while I was doing it. But now, I mean, just when I caught the first couple, and I was like, well, I can smell it, you know. I can feel it. I went and grabbed my mask that I bought, push it up against me so I can peel it much cleaner. Anyway, got that done, and cut these as you saw, but I'm getting a lot of wind. The wind's been going boom boom on my roof up here because I got it tied down. But it's the rain over there. It's a coming. I haven't heard the thunder yet, really. So that's the wind. So I ain't too worried about that. I'm gonna see if I can't get a couple of these up, get them up and running before that rain comes. Oh, but dang, man. Efforts. All right, man, let me get back at you for that rain. Well, I'm not gonna be able to finish. I only got that one in there, but I'm having electrical issues. I couldn't get my extension cord to start. I'm like, what? I went and got another one. It was like, what? And then Come to find out, the first one had the wrong plug in the plug, so that got going. And then when I started using my drills kept quitting. I'm like, what? But I do have one patch over there and another patch over there because this thing's been abused about 50 times. And now the patches aren't working, they're shortening there. So I'm gonna put a whole new wire on that thing. Hopefully tomorrow my battery operated drill will come early in the morning from Lazada. I ain't got nothing to worry about. But also on that other extension cord, it's got that plastic strip. I got to replace that with the, with the 8 amp box or whatever, because that's the one that kills the what do you call it, the welder. So anyway, until tomorrow, you can catch up with me and I'll get back to you. So thanks for watching. Keep watching for more electrical issues here on the Tug.